United States defense announcement made in accordance with federal civil defense guidelines. This announcement was made in haste to inform the public of an imminent threat and has not been edited. Amended and updated information will be announced as soon as possible. The city of San Francisco is hereby under emergency lockdown. Citizens are advised to seek out the nearest shelter and remain inside until otherwise has been stated by an announcement made in accordance with the federal civil defense guidelines. Reports of a dangerous flying object over San Francisco Bay have been confirmed. Repeat, reports of a DFO over San Francisco Bay have been confirmed. Reconnaissance flights have identified it as a Boeing 747 commercial aircraft that has been modified for stealth flights. The aircraft is using an unknown method to deceive American radar technology. Its movement and exact location cannot be reliably monitored. Attempts to shoot it down over the sea have thus been terminated. Attempts to contact the flight crew using private, commercial, and military frequencies have failed. It is unknown at this time whether there are passengers aboard. Until the purpose and origin of the aircraft can be verified, citizens of San Francisco are advised to take the following steps to protect themselves and others. Remain indoors or evacuate to your nearest official shelter. Limit and/or cease telephone communications. Refrain from using lights after sundown. Remain on alert for more emergency broadcasts and updates. In the event of a declaration of war, all able-bodied males ages 18 to 25 will be drafted. The Department of Defense is currently attempting to contact the Kremlin. As of yet, no information has been provided to this network. Any suspicious groups or individuals should be reported to local law enforcement agencies. Failure to report suspicious conduct is equivalent to active participation.
Attention all residents and travelers in Kitsap County. This message contains important information regarding a civil emergency in Bremerton. Please do not change the channel. The aircraft discovered in a local pasture last week has been positively identified as a Boeing Model 747 commercial airliner. There remains no new information regarding how it landed in the field or who might be responsible for placing it there. Local authorities have been advised that all residents and travelers to avoid the area until a method of transporting the aircraft has been found. Non-compliance with this advisory will be met with a fine. Continued defiance may result in legal prosecution. Contrary to initial speculation, investigation teams have confirmed that there are no explosive or incendiary devices on board. However, the threat of biological reagents remains a strong possibility as 2 members of the investigation team have officially succumbed to the effects of a toxic gas that was sealed within the aircraft cabin. A quarantine zone measuring 1 mile in diameter has been established around the aircraft. Failure to comply with quarantine measures will be met with arrest and prosecution for treasonous and dissident behavior. Filtration masks have been distributed at no cost to residents and travelers within the quarantine zone. Any and all residents and travelers outside the quarantine zone will be given the opportunity to purchase filtration masks at individual discretion. Recently released information describes the remains of over 500 individuals inside the cabin. Investigations into who these people were and how they came to be inside the aircraft are still ongoing. Any information regarding the aircraft should be reported to Kitsap County Law Enforcement. Attention all residents and travelers in Kitsap County. This is a civil danger warning for Bremerton. Please do not change the channel. Following the discovery of Cyrillic lettering inside the unidentified aircraft, Kitsap County authorities are currently treating this incident as a potential act of war and are acting in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Council. Residents and travelers in Kitsap County are advised to fulfill their civic duty and contact local law enforcement agencies with any information regarding communist activity. Failure to report communist activity is considered active engagement in communist activity. Residents and travelers in Kitsap County are hereby required to assist any and all federal agents in their efforts to contain the spread of communism and investigate the origins and purpose of the aircraft. The following information has been approved for public release following review by the Federal Civil Defense Council. Almost all deceased persons within the aircraft have been dead for at least 30 days. Due to as of yet unreleased information regarding ante- and post-mortem trauma, the FCDC believes the deceased to be either victims or willing participants in a ritual killing. It is your civic duty to report suspicious activity. Failure to report suspicious conduct is considered suspicious conduct. Anomalous activity consistent with remote interference has been recorded on multiple occasions. In cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Council, Kitsap County law enforcement will be disseminating photographs of all 515 deceased to local news agencies. Citizens and travelers are required to call Kitsap County law enforcement with any information regarding the identities of the deceased. Failure to report relevant information will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior. Attention all residents and travelers in Kitsap County. This message contains important information regarding a law enforcement warning in Bremerton. Please do not change the channel. The Boeing 747 commercial airliner, which has been the subject of federal investigation, has disappeared from its last known location. Attempts to trace its movements across the county have proven insufficient. In response, the Federal Civil Defense Council has enacted emergency containment protocols in Kitsap County. Information regarding the aircraft's location must be reported to Kitsap County law enforcement. Failure to report relevant information will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior. An individual cadaver was left behind during the aircraft's relocation. Photos will be distributed across all news outlets. Physical description is as follows. Male, 30 years of age, Indian descent, dressed in a three-piece suit. Information regarding the cadaver must be reported to Kitsap County law enforcement. Failure to report relevant information will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior. The FCDC has enacted the following emergency protocols to ensure and facilitate the recovery of the stolen Boeing Model 747 commercial airliner. Failure to comply with these protocols will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior. A curfew of 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time will be upheld and enforced. Group gatherings must be submitted for review by the FCDC and limited to no more than 5 participants. This includes religious meetings and educational classes. All buildings capable of housing an object 231 feet in length, 195 feet in width, and 65 feet in height are now under the jurisdiction of the FCDC. Compensation for profits lost will be provided only upon confirmation of non-involvement in the theft of the Boeing 747. Resistance will be met with military action. Information regarding the aircraft's location must be reported to the FCDC at the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office. Failure to report relevant information will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior. Information regarding the as of yet unidentified cadaver must be reported to the FCDC at the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office. Failure to report relevant information will result in prosecution and arrest for treasonous and dissident behavior.